It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Hi, and welcome back. Now we're going to go on to another meatball recipe, and these are going to be Hawaiian meatballs. Pretty good, Callie, huh? Laying on the rug there, napping. Whoa, she's so tired. Playing with her toy already. Yeah, all squeaked out. Yeah. So for this, we got our meatballs already cooked off, so now we just have to make a sauce for them. And this gets served on rice. Now to make a perfect rice, if you've listened or seen my show before, I've shown you how to make it, and it's very simple. We've got the water waiting to boil in the back here. Make sure it's on high. Yep. And when it comes to boil, we'll put in our rice. And what I have is 2 cups of water with 1 cup of rice. It's 2 to 1 on long grain white rice. I always stumble over those words. But when that comes to boil, we'll take and put in our rice. And then we turn it down to a simmer, and we time it for exactly 20 minutes, and you get perfect rice every time. It really does work. So for our sauce, we're going to be needing a 1/2 cup of white vinegar. And this is going to go right into our pot on the stove. And with that, we also need a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Ouch. Oh, my arthritis is kicking in. Oh. What are you doing, Callie? Just napping? Is that it? You're not going to be in the show today? Oh, she'll show up when the food's ready. She always does. And then we're also going to be needing two tablespoons of soy sauce. And you can use any kind you want to. Take out that little stopper on the top of your bottle. It makes it so much easier to pour out your soy sauce. Then you don't have to sit there and shake. And that's just 2 tablespoons. And that just pops right back in. Along with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. We get some more cornstarch pretty soon, Callie, getting near the end. Now it's important too, is that make sure that this isn't turned on yet, that's cold. Because the cornstarch will take and coagulate and lump up on you if you throw it into the hot. You want to make sure that it's dissolved first, so you want to stir these ingredients together first before heating up thoroughly. Then we can start to heat this up, and this you can put on high if you want. I just kind of like to turn it down so the flame just matches the pot, not overextended. Well, that's heating. We can put in a can of chunk pineapple. And you want to keep the juice in there. You don't want to drain this because we want that juice to mix in with the cornstarch also to thicken up. And we also want that flavor up from the juice. Recyclables. And to this, we're going to have 1 medium onion. And this you want to take and cut into chunks. We don't want to have little teeny tiny pieces. We want little larger ones. Almost like a shish kebab type size. So I'll just cut this in half, and then I'll probably have like about 1/2 inch to almost 1 inch size chunks. And we just put these in a bowl and save these until the sauce is thickened up. And then we can add these right to the sauce. You don't want to take and overcook them because we don't want to have mushy, soft vegetables. You want kind of a crunch to them. And then I have 1 each red pepper and a green pepper. And just cut those in half. And to get rid of the membrane, just pull out the seed. And then you want to make sure you get all that pith out, the white pith that's in your pepper. That's all the membrane. You want to get that all out. And just shake out, snap out the seeds. And just do the same thing with your red pepper. I don't know why, but generally red peppers seem to be a little bit easier to clean. For some reason they have less seeds in them. I don't know why that is. But a red pepper, all that is a green pepper that's been ripened longer on the vine. That's the only difference. So if you have green peppers growing in your garden this summer, if you want red, just leave them on. And the longer they ripen on the vine, then they start to turn red. And these two we're going to cut into about 1/2 inch to 1 inch chunks. Like I said, we want to have almost shish kebab style size of vegetables. We want bigger chunks. That's what makes it more of a Hawaiian, because you want to bite into these bigger chunks of vegetables. We'll check and see how everything's cooking here, Callie. She's busy looking out the window. She's got the blinds, they're just parted so she can get her nose and eye out there. Can't miss anything going on in the backyard. No. Squirrel, rabbit, go by. Can't miss it. No. And our water's boiling. So we can put our rice in. Give that a little stir. Put the cover back on and turn that down to a simmer. Set our timer, 20 minutes. And perfect rice every time. And then we'll just wait for this to come to a boil. That'll thicken up on its own then with the cornstarch in there. And when that does, then we'll add our other vegetables and our meatballs to the sauce. Oh, we got someone woke up. Oh, must be cookies. Oh, look at her snoop. So the sauce is thickened up, and now I just put in the vegetables. So we have our peppers in here with our onions and pineapple. Give this a nice stir. Oh, that's looking pretty, Callie. Mmm. And then we'll just put in our meatballs. And remember, we made these up earlier and I portioned them off into your freezer bags. You can just freeze it for another time. Well, this is another time. These aren't frozen. This is just for the looks. But you get the idea then. So all you have to do is open them up and throw them into your sauce of whatever you're making. And I got approximately about 20 meatballs in a bag. So that's a nice family size portion. Because then everybody can have 4 meatballs, or 5 meatballs. 5 times 4, 20. Or if it's just 2 guys, then you got 10 meatballs each if you're hungry. Most men are. But with all the vegetables in here, you get a nice variety of, you get filled up on the other things too, the other vegetables, rather than just having to worry about meatballs and rice. So that's a nice filling. And the rice is cooking, and then we'll let this stay simmering for about half an hour, or also at about the same time as the rice is, because this has been simmering already and cooking. So the rice and the warmth of the sauce to incorporate the flavors of the vegetables and the meatballs, we want those flavors to all blend together too. So these will just go on to a simmer, and they'll be done at the time of the rice, and we'll dish that up. Right, Callie? Yeah. She don't care. She's going to Where's mine? Where's mine? Okay, Callie, everything's all done. Whoa. That looks good. Everything looks good, Callie. Oh. This is our rice. Perfect rice every time. All right, it's 20 minutes. And we're going to make a bed of rice here, because our sauce and meatballs are going right on top. Come here. Ooh, look at this. Yeah, better get your nose in here, girl. Yep. Good, all those vegetables and meatballs. Ooh, yummy yummies. And that sauce. You want to pour that sauce over your rice? Yeah, plenty of sauce. Ooh, that looks pretty. Really pretty. And we'll get a close-up of that one too, before Callie eats it. And that's our lovely Hawaiian meatballs. Don't that look good, Callie? Yeah, but you can't wait to samples. Oh, no. Okay, now we're going to continue on with another meatball recipe. We've made our meatballs in the first episode, and so we got plenty of meatballs. And then we made spaghetti sauce in one. We did Hawaiian meatballs another. Now we're going to do a taco meatballs. This is really good. It sounds different, but it is. But it's good. Imagine having your chili con queso or your cheese sauce with salsa in it. And usually you take and have ground beef in it too. You know, mix it all together. This is it's similar to that, but we have the meat in meatballs. So first, what we're going to do is have our Dutch oven going here. And we're going to make our cheese sauce first, which is the roux. And we just put in, we're going to melt down a stick of butter. Put that inside. And we'll melt that down. Yeah, oh, butter. Oh, Callie's right down here below me. In the doorway in the dark with her toy. Prepare for some squeakins. Mrs. Roper herself. Oh. And to this butter, we're going to be putting in about a half cup of flour. Now when you add this together, you want to make a roux. And what that roux is it's just flour and butter until it gets thick. And that's what they call a roux. And we don't want a dry roux. That's what ruins it for most recipes. You want to mix the two together until you get a consistency of like a thick cream of wheat. If it gets dry and crumbly, that's how you get those little lumps in your gravies and sauces, because those are little bits of flour that weren't melted, they weren't incorporated. You put in too much flour with the butter. And you don't want it too runny, otherwise you're going to end up with a buttery sauce. It's going to be too liquidy. So you just want to keep adding flour until you get the thick consistency of like cream of wheat. Here we go. Now to this we're going to be adding 2 cups of hot water. Now we want to make sure it's hot. Because the cold water will take and congeal the butter, and then you're going to start all over from scratch. You got to reheat all over again. So you add the hot water to the hot roux. And that's 2 cups. And this still bring this back to a boil, because we want this to have that thick cream sauce to it. Now, you keep stirring that, because when it boils, dairy product, the butter, it's easy to scorch. So you want to make sure you don't have this on high. Medium high is fine. And when it gets to a boil, then it starts to thicken up really quick. Now to that we're going to be adding 1 package of shredded cheddar cheese, which is 2 cups. Callie should be coming here and she's watching from the doorway. She loves cheese. Oh, come. Crumbs. Yeah, you like crumbs, don't you? You like cheese. Yeah, you like cheese. Yeah, you love cheese. I know you do. Yeah. And it's coming along good. That's getting really thick, so we need to thin this out. Now you can always thin out with water, but what's going to make this the salsa poured into the cheese mix will thin it out. So you don't need to add water. What we're going to be adding now is 2 cups of salsa, and I happen to have a pint of salsa, and this is 2 cups. There, and that's looking good. Nice and thick, but yet not too thick. And if it is too thick, you can always add more salsa or just a little bit of water to thin it out. If it's too thin, add a little bit more cheese to thicken it up. Don't put in flour, because then you're going to get more lumps. You get those little crumbly crumbs because the flour isn't dissolved then into the mixture. So if you sprinkle flour in there, it's going to just stay like that, and that's where you get your lumps also. Now that was coming along just great. We can take and add our meatballs. And remember, we cooked up a whole batch of meatballs, and then I just took and froze them in separate baggies and saved them for different recipes. Because you don't need all the whole batch of meatballs for one recipe. You just put in as much as you want to. I got like about a dozen here, or 18 or so. Oh, she got her toy. Squeak, squeak, squeak. She broke you know, dogs, they love to take and go after that squeaker on their squeak toys to try to rip it out. Well, she ripped it out all right. But I happen to have another little squeaker. And this squeaker is much quieter, and so I slid it inside the toy. So she's squeaking, 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 but it's not loud anymore. It's kind of like muffled out. Yeah, you and your toys, yeah. Then we can just take and let these meatballs, they were thawed out at room temperature. I kept them in the refrigerator. Let them thaw out in there after being frozen. But you can just put these back into the sauce, and then just let those come up to temperature along with the sauce in about 5 minutes or so, and we'll be all done with our taco meatballs. Can't wait to serve this, Callie, huh? Ooh. She's busy chewing on the toilet. And now these are our taco meatballs. I got my plate with a lettuce and tomato for a little taco salad on the side here, and tortilla chips on the top. And then we just take and put in our meatballs. And you can just put these in as many as you want, of course. And what I just like to do is just put a bunch in the front here on the side. And then to take the cheese sauce and sprinkle that. Ooh, look at Callie. Look at her. Oh, drugs. Oh. All over the chips. And that is our taco meatballs. Let's get a close-up of that. And there's our taco meatballs. Boy, don't that look good, Callie? Whoa, yeah, Oh, Callie Ellies. What doing? Oh, up here. Callie Ellies. Waiting for a sample. Oh, Mrs. Roper, what's up with you? Going? What's going on? What's going on? Well, now this is the part of our question and answer period in our show where we answer questions from you, the viewers. Is that right, Miss Callie Eyes? Yeah, that's what you're waiting for, is a tweet. Is that it? Waiting for a tweet. If you have any questions for Callie or I, please write us at the Northwoods Cooking Show at yahoo.com, and we'll try to answer them the best we possibly can. Ask anything from gardening to baking and cooking and household tips, and we'll try to answer whatever we possibly can, and if we can't find an answer, we'll look it up. Ain't that right, Callie? Yeah. Let's see who wrote us this week, Callie. Oh. Oh, look at the positions and droolings. Oh, yeah. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Yeah, I love doggy tweets. Yeah. Dear Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, I'm a little confused on sugar substitute. Which one is the best for me? I'm a diabetic type 2. Signed, Sarah of Burnsville, Minnesota. Well, thanks, Sarah. Oh, that's a loaded question. I'm diabetic. I'm type 1. So I have to inject insulin all the time. So I'm really constantly watching, checking my glucose levels, make sure my sugar levels are down. I usually keep them around about 112. But with the samples and stuff that I make, my sugar does go up high. And if I'm working, that helps to bring them back down low. The best thing you can do is exercise. When you get done eating anything, go for a walk around the block. Even that will take and bring down your levels. Any type of exercise, any type of movement will bring down your levels. So that's the best thing you can do, is just to keep active all the time, which I am always active, working on my feet, gardening, doing the show. I'm always moving. So my levels do have a tendency to stay down pretty good. But to discuss the difference in sugars. Now this is one I had to try to figure out, and it is confusing. It really is. First of all, there's one called sucralose, and that is your Splenda. This is just a Roundy's version of the Splenda. This is what you use in substituting sugar for sugar, equal amounts in baking. Now, one thing about this is when you cook with the Splenda, it will make your bread products harder, your cookies harder, crunchier, whatever, on the outside, and it dries them out. But there's a tip here I got for you. I wrote this on the back of the package. See, take 1/2 cup of powdered milk, add 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 cup of Splenda. Mix that all together, and I keep that up here in my container. This is Splenda baking powder and powder milk mixed together. Now you take and you use this in place of your sugar in baking, the exact amounts. If it calls for half a cup of sugar, measure out a half a cup of this. This will take and help make the product much more moister, not as hard. Your cookies will come out better, and it works so much nicer. The next one I have here is the aspartame, which is the blue sugar, which goes by the name of many different things, but most people know it as equal. This is what I use in my coffee, and I love this stuff. One thing about this, I've learned that it's because it's a pure chemical, it tricks your brain into thinking that it craves sweets. So after prolonged usage of this, you're always craving sweets, which I am. And that's the bad thing, because I don't want to eat sweets. I want to eat the substitutes. So that's one thing bad about this. It does increase your desire for more sweets. But I like the taste of this because this you can put directly on your dry cereal. If you don't, because I don't eat the sugar sweetened cereal, I'll get like Rice Krispies or Cheerios or Chex or Corn Flakes, something with no sugar in it. And of course, you know, as a kid, you always got tons of sugar on your cereal, but you sprinkle this on, and this tastes great on your cereal without having to add the extra calories. That's why I like the aspartame. The other one is the pink sugar, which is saccharin. Now, when I was a kid, that was like the first one that came out on the market, the pink sugar. And that stuff is bitter. Oh, it is terrible. Ugh, it is just awful. The only thing that's good about that is like it's a sugar substitute. You use it like you would. You can put that in your coffee, in your teas, etc. And it'll sweeten up your product. By itself, it's extremely bitter, and so that's why I don't like to use it. That's why I prefer the aspartame, because I can put this on cereal. You can put this on top of fruit. If your fruit isn't that sweet, this really makes your fruit taste so much better. And because wintertime season, your fruit isn't that sweet anymore. It's kind of bland. And sprinkle just a little bit of the equal on it, and it tastes wonderful, nice and sweet again, without adding the extra calories. So there's many different kinds of sweeteners and many different kinds of ways to use them. I hope that explains them for you much better there. And for you, if you have any questions for Callie or I, please feel free to write us at the Northwoods Cooking Show at yahoo.com. And we'll try to answer your questions on the air. Ain't that right, Miss Callie? Oh, look at her. She's waiting for the second round. She goes, get on with it, get on with it. I want my tweet. All right, all right. So for Miss Callie and myself, we want to say healthy eating, be safe, and spread the sunshine. Say goodbye, Callies. Oh, yeah. Quitch.